Hello again. uh, Man, this week was finals week for college, or at least this semester. I'm gonna have obviously another one next semester, but this is the end of the current semester, and I'll get to that later. I have goals to discuss. As a matter of fact, I'm rather excited to discuss them because they're very positive. For eating, to my surprise, I actually have been eating 3 times a day without many problems. That was really nice to see, and I'm I'm a little excited for the prospects that might be coming up next. So hopefully, I can actually keep up this momentum, and I won't have to bite my tongue by the end of the month. But eh, going into the new year, I'd hope that at the very least I can end off strong with a success. Maybe allow myself the leniency to start off slow just in case, that type of thing. Um, for sleeping, again, pretty flawless. No issues whatsoever. I'm using sleep schedule very well. I'm making sure I do it on weekdays. Although with this being the last day for anything to be done on college, I do have to hold myself to some form of accountability to actually like hit those sleep schedule goals. That might be a bit difficult later on, especially now. I'm recording this at like nearly 10 o'clock. It's 9:58. So things are gonna have to be pushed back quite a bit. And hopefully that pushing back is actually really good and just really helpful. Um, and also to give myself a bit of leniency, this isn't, I wouldn't be going to sleep at like 11 on these days anyway, because it's not a work day tomorrow. And then, for what I'm like actually the most satisfied with, my pornography goal. Um, I've been able to do it rather flawlessly. Like, I haven't had too many issues. I've gotten used to this new system pretty well. It's it's rather it's rather encouraging that I got used to it so fast. So, um, the way things are now, so long as I don't fail anymore, I'll just move on to next week. Uh, yeah, I'll just move on to next week or next week. What am I saying? I'll move on to next month with the 3 days because that should be an actual challenge. I wanted to do the smaller one for easing, like I said, but the actual data that I gathered during November kind of suggests that 2 days is very plausible, if not incredibly easy, whereas 3 days would actually be a challenge. So it's nice to actually have confirmation that yes, this is not just plausible, but legitimately easy. So I can move on into something a bit more difficult. Plus, it also 10 o'clock alarm. Um, it also goes into the that's March, May. Which one was this? Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Which would be that would be 4 times a day, or four days a week, 4 times a day. God. And then yeah, okay, so June is where I failed, and then July is where I okay. So yeah, it would take us back to a sort of place where we were June, which isn't quite hitting the 4 day mark, but it is elevating us up to that. And particularly, no, actually, for June, I was doing 3 days in a row. Obviously, there was discrepancy of having one other day before that, but um, I'm going to be put sort of to that point then, and then depending on how well I do, how long I'm capable of going with that, I will move on to 4 days. and then 5, then 6, and then I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with 7 because at the point that I'm at 6, I'm going to be doing it once a week anyway. Like that's pretty much guaranteed. Whereas with 7, I think since there's only 4 months, 4 weeks in a month, I would projected probably only be able to do it like 3 times a month, maybe 4 if I'm lucky. Which, like, at that point, should I just start trying to abstain, or should I do the 7 days portion, have that get finished, and then try to abstain? It's something that I'd have to work out. Something that I'd have to work out as the time came around. That's really far in the future, at least for me. Potentially, could be next year. I don't know. I can't see the future. And as much as I like to joke about myself being a soothsayer, I'm not one. So let me uh, let me see how it is by that time. Whenever I reach that, and if I reach that too, who knows? I might change up the plan again or go for an alternate method uh, before I even reach 7. So who knows? um, Aside from that, I guess it's time to talk about finals, which they actually went pretty well, except for on Wednesday when I had to do 2 essays, one of which should have been prepared for and done well before I even not even done, but close to done well before I even hit Wednesday. The other was really something that it was meant to be done on Wednesday, and then a presentation for my art history class, all of which I somehow ended up finishing within the proper amount of time. It was, man, it was certainly something. It was a struggle, that's for sure. I really didn't think I would be able to get my shit turned in on time, but I did. I did. I somehow finished it. I somehow did it properly, and hopefully I get graded well. I'm not gonna complain too much if I don't. I didn't have time. I was panicking. I was trying to go as fast as I fucking could. Hell, I was squeaking out. I was even considering taking the fucking laptop into my bed so that the moment I was done, I could just clock out and just sleep. But funnily enough, somehow I didn't end up ruining the whole sleep schedule thing because of my 10 minutes before or after rule that I had. I actually got saved by that because when I headed to bed and when I finished my thing, it was 11:08. So I was already off to bed by that point. So it was it was rather convenient. Um, I don't want to make that mistake again though. I don't want that type of thing to happen. Two of the things I needed to do that day were things I should have at least already have had some major work done on. For my essay, I was already working on that like 2 days in advance, or 2 days in advance, but like I had at least 5 days to work on that essay, and it came down to 2 days, the first of which I only got like 2 paragraphs done. So it was basically fucking nothing. Whereas the art history thing, I had the art history presentation, I had, I think, 3 weeks advance to work on it. Which I'll give myself some leniency. I did want to wait on the lesson for German Expressionism, or the lesson that included German Expressionism, because the artist I chose to present was a German Expressionist. But like even after that, I had 2 weeks to fucking at least get something down. And what? All I did was get maybe like 2 sources and then leave it at that. So I did like all my source searching, all my fucking creation to that one moment. And well, I wouldn't say I made something impressive. I don't think I could have done too much better within the constraints of time, and I also don't know if I would have done anything more ambitious within within the 2 week period that I had. It might have just been more a more gradual process. Might have been more thought out, maybe made a little better. There were certainly presentations out there that just worked better than mine. That's for sure. They actually had some form of design to them, which props to my peers. Good job. You put a lot of effort into that, into the visuals. I put a lot of effort into the information, which I guess has always been kind of my forte anyway. Um, but yeah, after that, I had like 2 days where I just separated the other finals up and just went with the flow. Everything turned out fine. So I did end off the semester strong, but at the end there, it was definitely getting shaky. As a matter of fact, I find it rather impressive that I came close, that I went a little above the behavior that I would typically present, or that I had typically presented when I was in high school, where the beginning of the year was like a firestorm. I was perfect. I was doing everything I needed to. A firestorm might not have been the best thing to compare, but I was doing amazing, right? Didn't miss an assignment. I did everything, even if it was outside of my comfort zone. Near the end, I did fail to do a lot of things, not because I forgot to do them, like happens sometimes with the beginning of the year, or the beginning of the year, beginning of the semester, but because I was just not wanting to do them. Like, oh, it's a discussion board. I don't want to do that, and then I just skip over it. And admittedly, that was only within like the last 4 weeks of the semester. And even then, I still submitted a lot of my assignments for many of my classes. I tried to do the things that would be legitimately really easy, one, to maintain at least some level of the grade I had, but also because, like, um, I still gotta do it. I still gotta at least make my presence known, right? I am impressed with myself that I was at least able to stick it out to the end of the semester longer than I usually would, and I did much better than my high school and middle school performances for sure. So that's really nice. At the very least, that point of comparison is great. There is something to be said about maybe I did get a little better at consistency, especially in terms of working, but that's that's kind of unfounded, especially since I don't really have anything on that, and it's not particularly something I was keeping track of up until I actually started doing college courses. So I'm not going to speculate too much, but I do find myself rather happy that at the very least I did recover from the from the sort of, I guess, nihilistic laziness. I don't really know how to quantify it, but I did recover from that failure to just do or get myself to do the work at the end here. Next semester, I don't want there to be any failure. If I do not get it in, it is because I fucking forgot, or I've been put in a coma, or some other drastic measure like that. I would prefer to just get my shit done and not have to worry about it. And yeah, next semester that's at least kind of not necessarily the goal. I don't expect myself to do a fucking 180 almost immediately, but that is what I want to start with at the very least. Um, oh, and with the end of the semester, I decided to start getting some of the habits that I sort of threw by the wayside in order to focus more on schoolwork, or the procrastination of schoolwork. back into swing, I bet you I'm perceptive enough to notice, oh, there's dog hair all over the fucking floor. Did he not clean? He's not mentioning anything about it. So, what the fuck is my past self doing? Did he just give up? And yes, I did. I just stopped taking care of the house, which was definitely just like a little bit of fatigue because I mean, I got stuff I'm doing. I'm actively working on that. It gives a mental fatigue that just makes me not want to use my body, even though I mean I'm not tired. I could probably run around the neighborhood, but I don't like my brain doesn't want to send out the neurons to do that, so I'm not gonna. Well, that was definitely the idea of why that happened. I do want to actually get back into the swing of cleaning and properly doing everything, doing a lot of the chores. Although, to be fair, on other chores I actually did pretty well. The only one that I think I've been fumbling on the most is cleaning. For the most part, I've only been cleaning like my desk and maybe other places that I put like tech so that it doesn't get too dusty. And that's pretty much it. Um, oh, I also want to actually do like yard work and stuff. I know I watch a lot of YouTube videos to just pass the time. I don't inherently find that to be bad, but like I got other stuff I can do, and at a certain point, like at least having that stuff out of the way makes it easier to actually put myself and create something, which is something I've actually been yearning for a while. I don't just want to play video games. I don't just want to watch videos. I want to like actually make something, even if it's mediocre at best or complete garbage at worst. I want to make something, and I know I kind of have to back my brain into a bit of a corner in order to make myself do that. So I want to get a lot of chores done. I want to get what could be seen as projects done. And after that, I want to just make something. Bit of art, maybe buy a model kit, doesn't matter. But aside from just wanting to make something, kind of just want to. I actually want to use the time wisely, even if I'm not actually making something, even if that want isn't fulfilled. I do want to utilize the time for anything, even if it's just like sitting outside meditating, sitting outside. I want to use it for something. I don't want to waste it away watching videos that I'm either not going to remember or won't care about in the next fucking 4 weeks. 4 weeks. In the next week. I don't want to sit by watching slop. I want to be invested in what I'm using my time with, and I do feel like I'm at least taking steps towards that. Um, Sorry for the cut. There was an interruption. Just thought I'd continue my thought after that. But other than that, oh, you can also kind of tell the big interruption because my hair dried a lot in between then and now. Um, but yeah, that's about all I have to say. I will see myself next time.